recording this video for me so that for future reference purpose, the copyright on this video belongs to me. These are the disclaimers, as you can see, and information related to the copyright. I prepared this Excel sheet on my Google sheet, and you can see the account there. And my name is Mijano Rahman. This video is not for publication purpose at this time. I just prepared this worksheet, so as I'm going through reviewing it, if there is any error, I'll correct it while I'm explaining and analyzing the data. Let's find out about this company. The name of this company is Ready-Made Desk Limited. I just made this name up. It has two departments. One is the designing and carpentry department, and the second one is varnishing and finishing department. Let's take a look at how it looks like. Okay, so this is the one in the left. See if I could highlight it here. Is the designing and carpentry department. You can see that. Right there. And the other one is the varnishing. They manufacture desks, and once the desks are designed and the board and all the materials are ready for assemble, they are simply transfer that to varnishing and finishing department, where the parts on the table, as you can see on the left on the screen, they'd be painted and packaged. So we know what the company produces. We know their departments. They've got two departments. And now, once the work is done, right now we're dealing with the varnishing and finishing department. The work that is transferred from this department, the work that is done, completed from the designing and carpentry department, is transferred to varnishing department. So that you're aware of that, we're on the end of the process. The calculation, the accounting is very similar. There isn't any difference. The reason I'm showing you the finishing department, so you can see how it would look like within a complete projection. So let's go to sheet 1. So information that is given to us, perhaps I could actually show it from the PowerPoint so you'd get better idea. So the Ready-Made Desk Limited gave us this information, or I populated it. The beginning inventory, they have 2,000 units, transfer in 100%, and with respect to DM, direct material, 100% complete. However, the 2,000 unit, this is from the beginning inventory, they couldn't finish it, so they only completed up to 60% work. With respect to the cost of the beginning inventory, the transfer in cost for the 2,000 unit were 40,000, You can see it right there on the cursor is. And conversion cost was 60,000 with respect to the 2,000 units from the beginning period. Unit started was 20,000, and with respect to transferring these 20,000 units were transferred from the designing and carpentry department to the finishing department. So this cost 800,000 incurred at the designing and carpentry department. And with respect to the direct material, the cost added in the furnishing and finishing department is 40,000, and conversion cost is 190,000. Keep in mind, this 800,000 is coming from the other department. The finishing department did not incur this cost. This is just we want to keep track of the cost of the previous department, so we could come up with the unit cost or the cost to complete one full unit, and also for the accounting purpose, right? So the ending inventory, even though we started 20,000, we couldn't finish this 20,000 units. We only finished 3,000. We couldn't finish 3,000. I apologize. We started 20,000, but we couldn't finish it all. We couldn't finish 3,000 units, and those 3,000 units, with respect to transferring cost, is already included in this 800,000. They are complete with respect to transferring. With respect to direct material, they are 0% complete. That means that they didn't put they didn't paint, or they didn't put any raw material on it. They didn't use anything. It's untouched. And with respect to the conversion cost, maybe they include some labor, handling, putting things, shelving, or warehousing it, things like that. So they incurred 20% conversion cost with respect to warehousing or the manufacture, the part of the manufacture, the part of the plant of the manufacturing company that it occupies, and the salary of the employees or the laborers with respect to handling those ending inventory. So with respect to completion, it's only 20% complete with respect to cost. Again, the copyright of these solutions, problems, accounting problem, and the video presentation belong to me, Mijano Rahman, and the copyright law is, I inserted the link there, so if you need to read, please do so. Okay, so these are the cost that I just discussed on the PowerPoint. Okay. So the question gave us this information right there, or I populated this information, and I'm asking myself to solve this problem with respect to these questions below, which is the question is asking to provide the equivalent units with respect to transferring costs, direct material, and conversion costs for the finishing department. So finishing and furnishing, for instance, I kept it shortcut, so finishing department. Then it also asks determine the cost of the equivalent units for this category, transferring direct material and conversion cost. And once that is done, then it's asking you to calculate the cost to manufacture one full unit, because we want to sell, right? Sell it to customer, right? So we want to know how much does it cost. And Then it's asked, the question asks us to prepare the journal entries for the transactions. In part E, it asks explain the equivalent units and the equivalent cost for FIFO processing, right? Or FIFO process costing. The last question is, what is the purpose for completing this, these calculations, and what is the key output from this work? So let's dig in. So let's assume that the company have a beginning inventory, these 2,000 units. These 2,000 units from December 31st, 2022. Okay, and so they couldn't complete this work, whatever the reason might be, because they ran out of time, they didn't have the labor, or whatever the reason might be. Okay, so this, I'm assuming their fiscal year ends on the December 31st. Now in January 1st, year 2023, so got these 2,000 units rolled over. This 2,000 units rolled over here. Okay, and then I'll just put beginning. beginning, I suppose. Okay, and we started in this January. For the year to complete is another 20,000 units, which came from the other department. Remember, we have two departments, the carpentry departments and the finishing departments. So this came from the 20,000 came from the carpentry department. That's put together all those wood, designed it, part it, and now it's ready for painting or varnishing and packaging or molding, things like that, put together. So in December 31st, let's assume that today is December 31st, which is not, but let's assume that in December 31st, 2023, they couldn't complete all those units. They had 3,000 units they couldn't finish. So this is the timeline. I need you to pay attention to this. Very important. This is the timeline. I'm going to highlight that in red, and this is, I'm going to highlight that in red as well. Okay. So now we know, because 2,000 came from 2020 last year, and from this year, this is going to roll over to, because we couldn't finish it, it's going to go next year, January 1st, 2024. Okay, so you're going to transfer that in next year. So these 3,000 units will be the beginning inventory for the next year. Okay, so this is our timeline. Because I'm going to erase that. Actually, I could leave it there for now. So now in step 1, we calculate the physical inventory, beginning units, which is 2,000, plus the unit that we started 20,000. If we add these two units up, two numbers, 2,000 plus 20,000 will give us 22,000. In a step 2, we look at the right here. I'm going to highlight that for you so you can see better. Highlight that in yellow. No, yellow is common color here. Maybe we could do this one, purple. So we know the unit is started in this period or transferred in because we transferred this unit from the previous the previous department from carpentry. So designing and carpentry say, well, we have finished 20,000 and we're going to transfer that to finishing department so you can do your painting and vernishing, whatever you need to do, and get it ready. So the cell does this, 20,000 units, and FIFO, what FIFO does is that the FIFO say, well, it doesn't it keeps tracks of the cost separately. So the cost for the beginning inventory, they want to calculate that separately, and the cost for the units that's transferred, that 2,500 units also came from at some point came from the carpentry department, right? So now the Sen does this 20,000 units, but we couldn't finish it all. We left with 3,000 units. So this 3,000 units, right there, I'm going to take the color off. You can see very clear. Okay, so these 20,000 units minus the 3,000 units will leave us 17,000. So these 17,000 units that we started and completed in this period. Now this is how FIFO does, okay? But how about if I take, I could show you an alternate way to get this done. So let's assume that this total units that we have is right there. I'm working on this cell. It's an alternative to step 2. You don't have to do it. Okay, right there. So you have 22,000 units less the ending, which is the ending is 3,000. Now the units completed is 19,000. This is the number that WAC method, the weighted cost averaging method, would use. Then we subtract the beginning inventory, which is the 2,000 units. Not 2,500, I think I was working on another problem. It's 2,000 units. So 2,000 units, so we subtract that. We would subtract 2,000 units from 19,000 units. That would give us 17,000 units. These two numbers, they match. So now we know our calculation is correct. So unit completed, unit started and completed in this period is 17,000 from this 20,000 that was simply transferred. Okay. The equivalent units now we need to calculate with respect to cost, because we couldn't finish the 2,000 units from the beginning, and we could also finish the 3,000 units from this year. That rolls over to the next year. So we need to calculate the equivalent units. Keep your eye open. I just created this accounting problem in the solution, so if there is any error, you can point it out to me, or I'll correct it right away. So we know to calculate the equivalent units, we need to gather the beginning units, which is 2,000. Unit is started and completed within this period is 17,000, and the ending inventory is 3,000. So now what do you do? So what we need to do, we need to find out with respect to these units, what is their equivalent complete unit. Okay, because we couldn't finish these 2000 units, right? So with respect to DM, transferring is 100% complete, so we don't have to do anything. So it is, so it's 100% complete, so we don't have to do anything with respect to transferring. With respect to direct material, it's complete 100%. We just simply subtract 100% minus 100%. It's 0%. That's what they're showing. So there is no equivalent units with respect to DM and transferring because we completed that 100%. However, with respect to conversion cost, we finished how much? We finished 60%. So let's correct that over here. So that would give us, we also want to check this number to make sure that we're in the right track. So 2000 units multiplied by the 40% that we completed within this period, so that would give us 800 units right there. Okay, so simply 2000 multiplied by 40%, that gives us 800 units right there. Okay, then unit started and completed, because we already completed these 17,000 units. So we'll just simply put 17,000 units all across, 100% complete. Okay, because we get this work done in this period. Same thing, this 40% done in this period. That's why we're adding that. With respect to ending units, 3,000, which we couldn't complete. So with respect to transferring, they were complete 100%. So we would add 3,000 units to transferring. With respect to direct material, they're 100% complete, so you would add 3,000 units. With respect to the ending inventory, conversion cost, let's see how much we have. We have 20% we completed, so you're going to change that to 20%. So this 20% is that we completed in this period. Okay, so simply multiply 20% with 3,000. 20% of 3,000 is 600 units. Okay, so now we add this. 17,000 plus 3,000 gives us 20,000 right there for transferring. Same thing for direct material, 17,000 plus 3,000, 20,000. With respect to equivalent units for conversion cost, we have it slightly different. Do you know why? And I'm going to show that to you. See right here, we've got 800 units plus the 17,000 that we fully complete plus the 600 units that so this would give us 18,400 units. Okay, and if I don't trust this, I could just add it manually. 17,000 plus 600, 18,400 units. It's a good idea to check in multiple ways, but during the exam you don't have this time to complete one example, one question. question like this, when you're writing your exam, it will take a long time. So you need to really learn it well. Okay, so one thing I need you to know, with respect to FIFO, they keep the cost separate. Okay, they don't average the cost. So the cost added with respect to the equivalent unit cost, they only take the cost added in this period, unlike the WAC method, weighted average costing method. They would use this beginning cost. Okay, but we won't do that. I want to make sure that these cells are correct, so we would have to go to cell 12 to see it is correct or not. Some of the numbers I entered manually, so may have erred. So that is correct, 800,000. This also correct, because I remember it plugged in just about a few minutes ago, or I typed it in. And then we've got 190,000. I want to see that one, if that is correct. Okay, that is also correct. Okay, so now we know the cost added in this period. We could just simply say, let's sum this, and that would give us we added about the cost with the transferring cost, the total cost so far, cost to date. It's called total cost accounted for. We wouldn't have the total cost because I don't have the beginning information here. I didn't put it in because we want to find out the equivalent unit cost. Okay, so let's erase this number for now. So let's keep it like this. Now we already found out our equivalent units. I'm going to highlight that in turquoise, already highlighted for you. And we have the cost. I'm going to also highlight that in turquoise, so you don't make a mistake. Okay, so there. What we do now is we simply, in step 5, we copy down this equivalent cost for transferring 800,000. Don't try to take shortcut. You're gonna make mistake. Okay, so don't shortcut yourself. And then we're going to transfer this 40,000 down below, the cost added in this period, and we also want to get the 190,000 for the conversion cost. We also get the 20,000 units for the equivalent units with respect to transferring, 20,000 with respect to direct material, and 18,400 with respect to conversion cost. This would give us, if we divide 800,000 by the 20,000 unit, that gives us the transferring cost equivalent transferring cost is $40 per one unit, per unit. For each unit, the transferring cost is $40. This is the cost that came from the other department, the carpentry department. Okay, and then we've got the direct material. We divide 40,000 divided by 20,000 gives us $2. So we added $2 direct material cost. Okay, and then we've got 190,000 divided by 18,400. That will give us $10.33. Okay, so now here's the tricky part. Okay, in my other example, I made an error with the ending inventory, so I want you to pay attention. Why it's important to pay attention, okay, with respect to Let's see if I could zoom that in. I can't zoom. So anyway, so you're stuck with this here. Okay, so what we do, remember, being a step 6, FIFO is really careful about cost allocation, cost assignment. Okay, FIFO means first in, first out. The beginning inventory 25 units, it came in, it is so conservative that it didn't allow this $100,000, $40,000 transferring cost and $60,000 conversion cost. It didn't allow. Let's take a look if we are correct. Okay, so I don't want to make a mistake here. This $40,000 right there and $60,000 right here. Okay, this information was given to us. Okay, then what do you do? What FIFO saying? No. You cannot let this $100,000 cost spread out to the unit produced in this period. We wouldn't allow you to do that. Okay, we assume the units that the beginning inventory from the last period, from December 22, December 2020, December 22. So December year 2022, whatever that came from the last period, we're going to only allocate that 100,000 to that 2,000 units. I have a typo here, so we're going to change that to 2,000 units. Okay, so this 2,000 units. Now what we do is we also want to make sure that we have everything correct. So the beginning inventory, because we already have this beginning cost, so we don't need to bother with that. We just plug that in. Say, well, this is the cost we have, we'll plug it. But the beginning inventory wasn't complete. So the beginning inventory used the cost from this period, the cost we added. Remember earlier in step 4, we added this 800,000 and 40,000 and 190,000. Not 800,000. This is actually, I apologize. The beginning inventory 2,000 units. They're using this cost. They're using part of this cost, which is, I'll tell you in a second. This 230,000, right? That they're using portion of that cost. The beginning inventory. So now we need to know that how much really, because people, they didn't use for the transfer, it was fully complete, DM was fully complete, so we don't have to do anything with that. We just have to go and check how much conversion cost, how much labor and manufacturing overheads that we used here. Okay, so let's click on this cell. So you've got right here the unit cost for the conversion. The equivalent unit cost for conversion cost is $10.33. We multiply by, we go to cell H39. So you're going to go to cell H39. That is 800 units. So you're going to calculate that manually, so we didn't make a mistake. So 800 multiplied by this oops. So anyway, so let's take a look at that. Where do you got this number from? 800 multiplied by this $10.33 it would give us $8,260 we really use from this period cost. Okay, so we used it from this, the cost added from this in this period. Now the unit started and completed, we have 17,000 units. Okay, so I'm going to change that to 17,000. So this 17,000, and also I'll make sure that I have the correct cell. The transfer in was $40, right? So you're gonna go up there and see $40, and you're gonna see what we completed. We completed 17,000 units right there. So we're going to multiply that here. 17,000 times, I'll use this 40 over here, the equivalent cost. That would give us 680,000. We have it correct on this cell and this cell right there. I just calculated for you, okay? Then we also want to find out the 17,000 multiply by this $2, that would give us 34,000 right there. I'm going to also highlight that so you don't make mistake. Very important in yellow right there, okay? Also, with respect to conversion cost, you're going to try that to make sure that is correct. 17,000 multiplied by $10.33. That would give us. Let's format these numbers over here. Doesn't look so good. Okay, right there. Okay, so we got it correct. $175,543.48 for the unit started and completed. If we add this 680,000, 34,000 plus $175,543.48, that would give us, if we add this row wise, if we sum this in a row right there, which I've done right there, that would give us 800. Let's format that cell as well so you can read better. Financial, okay, 889,543.48. Voila. Okay, now we could also, you don't really need to do that here, but I just added this cost. I've done a vertical summation as well. So for the transferring, I have added this 40,000 plus 680,000 gave us 720,000. We only have, with respect to DM, only 34,000 vertical. When I say vertical, I mean vertical is summation, okay? Right there. With conversion cost, we've got, it's always a good idea to format our cells. Financial or accounting, whichever you like. We've got $243,804.35 for the conversion cost. These are the numbers. You might need it later, but in our example you may not need it. Let's take a look at that. Okay, so now let's move into the ending inventory right here. Okay, right there. I'm going to highlight that. Very important. Last time I made a silly error. Okay, so what we have here, let's find out. We have 40,000 times 3, $40 right here. So I'll type it up here. Maybe I'll type it up here, $40. times 3,000 units, the transferring, that gives us 120,000, and 3,000 multiplied by 2, that gives us the 3,000 units, right? I would like you to see that, okay, the equivalent units right here. This. With respect to transferring, I'm going to highlight these cells for you, okay? So you don't make a mistake. Let's highlight that. What color? Tell me what's your favorite color? Purple? Pink? That's funny. Okay, so let's highlight that in this green, okay? I haven't used green. So these 3,000, so transferring 3,000 units, DM 3,000, and conversion units are 600 units. Okay, so let's go below. So now what we need to do, we know that so this 600 units times this 1033, that would give us $6,195 $6,195.65. Okay, so our calculation is correct. If we add this 12,000 plus 6,000 plus $6,195.65 would give us $132,195.65. Highlighted in orange, this ending inventory would go into our balance sheet and also would be the beginning inventory cost for the next period, January 2024. Okay, so our equivalent unit cost, if we add this 40, I'm going to highlight that over here, 42 and $10.33, it would give us $52.33. Let's click on the cell to see the reference. We've got it correct. Now, with respect to equivalent unit cost, it is very important that we are careful when we calculate this. We want to check it to make sure that we got it right. Okay, so we've got $52.52. How we got that? Remember, in this cell, we calculated the so this $997,804 is about the cost of the goods that we completed. That's why see, I created that a separate block for the right there. See that? So if we add this 100,000 from the beginning inventory, the beginning cost, plus the $8,060.86, which we got it from which the beginning inventory used the cost from the current period. Right? So if we already calculated this $889,543 by adding these values over here, 600,000, 34,000, and $174,543.46. If we add this three number right here, 100,000, I'm not going to read this out now, so you could see that on the screen highlighted. $997,804.35. This is the cost of goods completed or cost of goods manufactured with respect to finished goods. Okay, what we want to do is we want to find out the unit cost. So what is the actually that our unit that we completed? Simple. Remember the completed unit. The beginning we have 2000, and then we completed 17,000 from this period, 19,000. If we divide this number by this 19,000, that would give us, let's $52.52. Let's round off. Okay, so there. Now I also need to take a look at this over here. Okay, very, very important. Can you tell me why this equivalent unit cost and the complete unit cost are different? If it was weighted cost average method, probably it would be the same, but FIFO is different because of the cost assignment and cost allocation. Okay, because FIFO is very careful. It doesn't allow this period inventory to access the past period inventory cost. Okay, that's the reason why it's different. Now we move on to the T accounts. Okay, this cost 100,000 is given to us right there. We calculate it here. See this beginning. I'm going to highlight these cells for you so you don't forget or you don't miss it. Let's do green. The green cells, 60,000 plus 40,000, 100,000. These 100,000 simply came here. Okay. All right. And then we have a transferring from the varnishing and finishing department was 800,000, right? And then, which is this period cost. This period in this year, they sent it to us on January 1st, 2023. And then we've got our direct material. We added 40,000. Let's say, for example, painting, burnishing, molding, patching, touch up, and all the other, if there's a scratch, touch up with the paint and mold it and fix it. So that's why we added this 40,000 direct material cost, and then we have 190,000 the conversion cost. What conversion cost is? The labor plus the manufacturing overhead. Okay, that is the 190,000. If we add this and subtract this, we already calculated this $997,804.35 on the cost of the goods completed. So this is the T account. Simple. Right there, look right there. This is all the material, all the labors, everything, the manufacturing overhead. So this is the let me break it down here for you. Okay, this is all the cost, 1,130,000 for all the units that we have it on the floor. The finished 19,000 units and unfinished 3,000 units. Okay, this is the cost that we incurred. So if the question asks how much cost really total we incurred, or we put towards this investment, we could say, well, we've got 1,130,000. We simply subtract this 997,000 T account, you know how the T account works. The left, we sum up the left and we sum up the right and we subtract it. So the ending balance is $132,196. See these two orange cells right here? I'm going to unhighlight these two orange cells right there, and this exactly match. So we know our calculation is correct. Very important. We know journal entries are not so difficult. We just get the finished goods account. We take this trick. Once you find out the work in progress inventory for the furnishing and finishing department, the T account, if you create this T account, you can just take the line and separate it. You know, in normal practice, you don't do that. You'd probably enter these items first, highlight it in this, and then you transfer it there. This is how the method really works in practical life. But for you don't have this much time, so you'd create these T accounts over here, and then you create these T accounts later. Okay, so so these are the journal entries. Do I need to go through this? To record the transfer in, so we record the WIP. We debit because we got the inventory. So let's say we would say finishing department, furnishing and finishing department got $800,000 new inventory. We debit that, and then we credit the designing and carpentry department for $800,000. Same way to record the direct material cost added to the finishing department, we debit the finishing department work in process, 40,000, or progress, 40,000, and credit the DM finishing inventory, the direct material inventory for 40,000. Let's assume that there was, let's say, company had $100,000 worth of inventory they bought, let's say paint or varnishing materials, and they use $40,000 worth of DM material. So we just kind of credit that. We don't have this information, so we don't put it in there. Okay. And then we've got this the conversion cost. We debit the conversion cost for the finishing department, finishing and furnishing department. And we credit the finishing raw material department. Okay, so CC conversion cost. Me writing is furnishing and finishing is actually confusing you, so just keep it finishing department. So okay, so we debit the work in progress or work in process for finishing department, 190,000, and credit the finishing raw material. Okay, this is finishing. Think that was the raw material, labor. Okay, or manufacturing overhead. Could be many things, right? So we can lump sum together like a combo account, conversion account, the conversion cost. What is conversion cost? The direct labor, and the manufacturing overhead with respect to this product. Okay, so we lump sum that and put it into the conversion account. Some people, they would say wage, salary, variable manufacturing overhead, fixed manufacturing overhead, and that's together it's the conversion cost, which is we credit that for 190,000. So we would credit the CC conversion cost T account for 190,000. Okay. Finally, to record now that everything is complete, we want to record the cost of goods completed or the finished goods manufactured, also known as COGM, cost of goods manufactured. Oops. In this case, this is our actually table, not desks. They produce desks. the finished goods, $997,804. I made it an integer. Integers means a whole number, not decimal. So you can understand better. Decimals sometimes confuses us. Simplification is better than complexity or complication. So the WIP finishing, because now we need to remove that, right? To record the cost of goods sold completed and remove it, and removed. Okay, so remove from the WIP burnishing and finishing department. We say, well, voila, bye bye. We completed the goods. Now it's ready to sell. Okay. Any question? Okay. This is Mijano Rahman. Today is April 9th, year 2023. The time is 4:48 a.m. in the morning. It is very unusual for me to work this time. I actually slept early during the day. So anyway, these are unnecessary. Okay. Well, thank you very much for listening. Don't publish this. If this video falls into your wrong hand, do not publish this. I keep this video recorded so I could go back and see. I could go back and reference my notes, and that's about it. And if I do decide at some points, what I need to do with it, I'll make the decision then. But now, don't publish it. Thank you very much.